Good evening, Eagles Nation. The time has come to talk about a clash that could define much more than just Week 4 of the season. The Philadelphia Eagles step onto the field undefeated at 3-0, ready to face another unbeaten team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This matchup has all the makings of a turning point, a true statement game, a battle of heavyweights. On one side, Baker Mayfield, silencing critics and putting up elite numbers. On the other, Jalen Hurts, and an offense that must attack aggressively from the very first snap. The showdown is clear. Defensive discipline against Mayfield's poise, and offensive firepower against a defense that thrives on the blitz. Whoever dictates the tempo wins. And that's why I need you with me more than ever tonight. Hit that like button because it helps the channel grow, and drop your comment below. Go Eagles, I believe. Let's push this eagle to fly even higher, because Sunday isn't just another game. It's war. Let's get started. The Eagles are stepping into Week 4 at 3-0, facing another undefeated squad in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this game has all the makings of a statement moment. The first key detail that can't be overlooked is Baker Mayfield. Tampa is riding high thanks to his late-game heroics. Over the past year, Mayfield has established himself as one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. He threw for 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns last season with just 16 interceptions, statistically better than any other passer in the NFL. For all the criticism throughout his career, he's been efficient, tough, and confident. So far this season, he's already shown why he's dangerous, throwing 5 touchdowns with no interceptions. And when teams blitz him, the results usually tilt in his favor. And this is where the Eagles' defense has to be careful. Blitzing Baker Mayfield has historically backfired. Last year, he was blitzed a league-high 214 times and still put up nearly 1,500 yards with 16 touchdowns. Just last week, the Jets tried to blitz him 40% of the time, and he picked them apart with a 101.7 passer rating while leading another comeback. Tampa Bay's 3 wins this season, all close contests, came down to Baker delivering in the clutch. The Eagles' defensive coordinator knows this, but the question is, will they stay disciplined enough to limit blitzes, keep things contained, and trust their defensive line to create pressure? That's going to be a decisive factor. On the flip side, Todd Bowles' defense thrives on sending pressure. They blitz at nearly 39% of their defensive snaps, one of the highest rates in the NFL, and history shows that Jalen Hurts has struggled against Bowles' schemes. Looking back at his performances, Hurts has never had it easy versus Tampa. In 2021, he was just 12 of 26 for 115 yards. In 2023, even in a win, he threw 2 interceptions. Then last season, he was sacked 6 times, and the offense completely fell apart.
That's a recurring problem. When Tampa blitzes, the Eagles have struggled to adjust quickly. This time, Philadelphia must not allow the Buccaneers' defense to dictate the tempo of the game. That ties into the bigger conversation surrounding this team. After the win over the Rams, both Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown made it clear they want to see the offense play aggressively from the jump. The first half of that game was flat, conservative, and lacking rhythm. But after halftime adjustments, Hurts looked like an MVP again, completing 16 of 22 for 204 yards and 3 touchdowns. The turning point? Feeding A.J. Brown. He finished with 6 catches for 109 yards in the second half alone, including a beautiful back shoulder touchdown. Brown himself emphasized that this team has too much talent to play conservatively, and Hurts echoed the sentiment. It's a direct message to Nick Sirianni and the offensive staff. Stop letting defenses control the narrative. Start dictating it yourselves. Against Todd Bowles, this couldn't be more important. If the Eagles start slow again, Tampa will capitalize. Another storyline that can't be ignored is the Eagles' secondary situation. Both Adoree Jackson and Jacorian Bennett are dealing with injuries, and their availability for Sunday is uncertain. That means Philadelphia could be forced to rely heavily on young corners like Khalil Ringo and Mekhi Garner. Normally, that would be a nightmare against Mike Evans, one of the best receivers of his generation. But here's where fortune finally breaks the Eagles' way. Evans is expected to miss multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. That's a huge blow to Tampa's offense, considering he's had over 1,000 yards every single year of his career. Without Evans and with Chris Godwin also unavailable due to his severe ankle injury, Baker Mayfield will have to lean on other weapons like Emeka Egbuka, Sterling Shepard, and tight end Cade Otton. Make no mistake, these guys are capable, but they don't demand the same respect as Evans. Still, Tampa has a strong run game with Bucky Irving and Rashad White, both physical backs who can grind out tough yards and create problems if Philadelphia misses tackles. That's something the Eagles cannot afford to let slide. Missed tackles will turn manageable plays into backbreakers. Defensively, it will come down to discipline, sound tackling, and forcing Mayfield into long third downs without handing him free opportunities against the blitz. Special teams also need immediate attention. Against the Rams, kickoff returns were an outright disaster. The Eagles consistently started drives deep in their own territory, while the Rams benefited from excellent field position. That's an 18-yard average difference, huge in a game decided by slim margins. Philadelphia has since made a move, signing Xavier Gipson to shore up the return unit. Fans may remember him as the undrafted rookie who returned a punt for a walk-off touchdown in Aaron Rodgers' Jets debut. He's dynamic, he's proven, and hopefully, he stabilizes what has been a glaring weakness so far. As much as this game is about execution, it's also about mentality. The Eagles can't approach this matchup timidly. If they try to ease into the game, Tampa will attack them right away. But if Sirianni's squad listens to its leaders, Hurts, Brown, and others, and comes out swinging, they can flip the script against Bowles for the first time in years. Philadelphia has the deeper roster, the better offensive line, and more explosive playmakers. But the history against Tampa Bay still lingers, and that shadow won't go away until they prove otherwise. So here's the question I want to leave with you before we continue. Do you believe the Eagles can finally overcome the Todd Bowles defense and shut down Baker Mayfield's late-game magic? Or will Tampa continue to be the thorn in Philadelphia's side? Drop your thoughts below, because I want to hear from the real Eagles fans. What makes this matchup so fascinating is that both teams enter undefeated, yet they've gotten here in very different ways. The Buccaneers have been surviving week after week with razor-thin margins, pulling out one-score wins behind Baker Mayfield's poise in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the Eagles, although also 3-0, haven't played their cleanest football. They've had stretches of inconsistency, moments where the offense looked hesitant, and lapses on special teams that nearly cost them. And yet, they keep finding ways to win. That's the mark of a dangerous team, winning even when you're not at your best. Nick Sirianni knows this game is about more than just week 4. It's about proving Philadelphia can beat a team and a defensive scheme that has given Jalen Hurts and this coaching staff nightmares in the past. Remember, Tampa ended the Eagles' 2021 season in the wild card round. They embarrassed Philadelphia again in 2023 during a super wild card matchup, and Hurts' regular season performances against the Bucs have been some of the roughest of his career. That narrative won't change until Philadelphia forces it to. This is why listening to the players becomes so crucial. Hurts and A.J. Brown weren't just venting frustration after the Rams game. They were laying out a blueprint. Stop waiting until halftime to adjust. Stop playing not to lose. Start attacking defenses early, spreading the field, using tempo, and trusting the playmakers. Against Tampa, that means quick throws to beat the blitz, getting DeVonta Smith involved opposite Brown, leaning on Dallas Goedert in the middle of the field, and of course, trusting that offensive line to hold firm against Bowles' pressure packages. And let's not forget, the Eagles' line will look different this week compared to past struggles against Tampa. Lane Johnson is healthy, and when he's on the field, the offense changes completely. He gives Hurts the extra second he needs to read blitz looks, and that could make all the difference. Defensively, all eyes will be on Vic Fangio's unit. The mandate is clear. Don't get baited into blitzing Baker Mayfield. Trust the front four, mix coverages, disguise pre-snap, and make him earn every completion. Without Mike Evans, there's no true safety net for Baker. That gives the Eagles an opportunity to finally force him into mistakes, something no team has been able to do through 3 weeks. If the corners can hold up, Philadelphia has the edge. The wild card in all of this could be special teams. Games like these are so often decided by hidden yards, by field position, by one mistake in the return game. That's why signing Xavier Gipson was such an important move. If he can stabilize the return unit and give the Eagles even average starting field position, that's a massive improvement over what we saw against the Rams. Now, let's talk predictions. The Buccaneers are gritty, they're resilient, and they believe in Baker Mayfield right now. But when you strip it down, they've been living on the edge, needing every ounce of his magic to squeak out wins. The Eagles, on the other hand, haven't played close to their ceiling yet, and still, they're unbeaten. If they put together a full game, something we haven't seen yet in 2025, this could be the moment they send a message not just to Tampa, but to the entire NFC. I believe this will be close, because Bowles always finds a way to slow Hurts down. But the difference this time is the absence of Mike Evans, the presence of Lane Johnson, and the urgency from Hurts and A.J. Brown to take control offensively. That's why I see Philadelphia escaping Tampa with a statement win, a scoreline like 28-26, pushing them to 4-0. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the Eagles finally flip the script against the Buccaneers, or will Tampa once again be the team that frustrates this roster? Let me know your score predictions and what you think the keys are to winning this matchup. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and stay tuned because we'll have more Eagles coverage coming your way. Go Birds! And check out the next video on your screen right now for even deeper analysis. There's another layer to this matchup that deserves attention, and that's the mental edge. The Eagles have the roster, the depth, and the proven stars, but what they haven't had is consistent confidence against the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles has built a reputation for disguising blitzes, baiting quarterbacks into bad throws, and making even top-tier offenses look average. For Jalen Hurts, this is as much about proving growth as it is about winning the game. He's evolved into an MVP-caliber quarterback, but this is one of those checkpoints. Can he outplay a defensive coordinator who has owned him in the past? The Eagles' locker room seems well aware of that. A.J. Brown's call to let your killers do their thing wasn't just a quote, it was a demand to unleash the offense. DeVonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and DeAndre Swift are all waiting for opportunities to break games open. It's time for Sirianni and Kevin Patullo to trust them from the opening kickoff. If they come out aggressive, this could be the week we see Philadelphia's first complete four-quarter performance of the season. And while Tampa may be without Mike Evans, the Eagles can't afford to take their foot off the gas defensively. Emeka Egbuka is a talented rookie, Sterling Shepard is veteran savvy, and Cade Otton has consistently given Philadelphia problems at tight end. Rachaad White's ability to catch passes out of the backfield is another wrinkle that could test the Eagles' linebackers in space. This means tackling